What is the meaning of impressions in your YouTube analytics? Today, we're going to talk about YouTube analytics and dive into understanding your impressions. By the end of this video, I hope to define impressions for you, show you 5 ways that impressions count towards your views, and 5 ways that your video could show up but don't count towards your impressions. My name is James, and I help you build your YouTube channel, optimize it for successful growth, and create more engagement with your audience. If you like that kind of content, stick around. Let's get started right now. Impressions! All the big YouTubers talk about impressions because it's one of the most important statistics to understand in getting views to your channel. But what counts as an impression and what doesn't? Today we're going to dive into this side of understanding. Before we go any further though, let's define what an impression is. We're going to take a look at what Google, who happens to own YouTube, has to say about what an impression means. According to Google, your video has to be shown to another person for at least 1 second, and at least 50% of the thumbnail needs to be viewed to count as an impression. We're going to talk more about what that means later on, so stick around. Let's keep watching. First of all, let's take a look at 5 ways that impressions count towards your views. The first one is looking at YouTube search. When somebody comes to YouTube and searches for a topic, videos are going to show up that YouTube recommends as being relevant to the search that they just put in. This is why keywords are so important. The keyword is going to tell YouTube where to place your content in a search. The next one is recommended videos. So when you look at a video, if you watch a video, you'll see right here on the right hand side recommended content from YouTube, recommending based on your watch history other content that you might find interesting or valuable. If you scroll down on the mobile app, you'll find that these recommended videos are underneath the main video. This is another area where keywords are important. With your properly optimized keywords, YouTube will know what videos to recommend in this spot. Now you're starting to understand. We talk about keywords all the time. This is why keywords are one of the biggest keys to getting more impressions on YouTube. The next thing to look at is the up next videos. Up next means when you watch a video all the way through to the end, you get a pop-up that shows more recommended content. The way this works is YouTube tries to look at your view history and recommend content that might be relevant to the types of content you watch. So showing up in these recommended videos is a great way to get more views on your channel. The next one is playlists. If you have a playlist on your channel and people are viewing your playlist, any videos that show up in that playlist are also going to count towards your impressions. Playlists also don't have to be your own playlist. Sometimes people will save a video that they like and they post those playlists on their channel. Also, sometimes other creators, if you're doing a collaboration or doing something in working with another creator, or maybe you shout out another creator, they sometimes create playlists of those content on their channel. So it might not be your own playlist that's getting those views. The next thing to look at is YouTube feeds. YouTube feeds encompass multiple areas. These feeds show up in different places around YouTube. For example, if you look right here, this is the YouTube homepage, and you will see that you have a lot of content recommended on the homepage of YouTube. This is customized to the user. Up here on the left hand side, you also have the YouTube trending page. You have a subscription feed, and you have a watch later list. Each one of these is considered a feed, and impressions on each one of these also counts towards your YouTube impressions. Before we go any further, I hope you're getting a lot of value out of this. I hope that this is helping you to understand how impressions work on your YouTube channel. If you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button so that you can catch all of our latest content. Come check out our Friday morning live stream where we go deeper into understanding how YouTube works. So you want your video showing up in YouTube search, YouTube suggested, up next content, YouTube's feeds, and in playlists that people watch. So we covered several ways that count towards your impressions. Now let's look at 5 things that your video could be showing up for that don't count as impressions towards your channel. One of the first ones is other sites, external sites. So if you do a lot of social media sharing, those views where people can still find your content don't count towards your impressions on YouTube. Another thing that we can do to share our videos is YouTube allows us to add info cards to our videos. In fact, if you want to know more about info cards and how they work, check this video out right here and you're going to see more about how these cards work. Now here's the thing with these cards. That was a card. Also, if your videos show up in these cards, they're not going to be counted as an impression for your video, but people can still find your video that way. It could be your own card, or if somebody else really, really liked it, another creator liked your content, they could share it in their cards as well. Now, video thumbnails. We mentioned that less than 50% or more than 50% of your thumbnail has to be visible to count as impression. Look at this right here. If you look down here at the bottom on this recommended videos, there's this one right here at the bottom that is only showing half of the thumbnail. Because less than half of the thumbnail is being shown, that does not count as an impression for that video. Now, this is important because you can still click on that video and see the video, but it doesn't count towards the impression count on the impressions numbers. Discovery ads. Now, YouTube has had this discovery ads option where you can actually pay YouTube to promote your videos. These are what they call discovery ads or true view ads. The thing is those ads will pop up on somebody else's video as an ad placement, but it will not count as an impression on your channel. Even though the views still count, the impressions gained that way don't add to your impression score. And by the way, if you're not already getting views elsewhere, paying for these kind of ads doesn't help your channel, because all it's going to do is show it to more people. But if your content isn't good enough to get and grab people's attention, you're just throwing money down the toilet. So don't waste your money on this. Try to learn how to do organic traffic. And the last one is emails and push notifications. Now, this one kind of goes along with the external sites, but if YouTube sends out an email notification, or say I have an email list and I email my list and say, hey, here's a new video I just put out on my YouTube channel, or YouTube sends out an email to those that are subscribed to my channel, those do not count towards my impressions either. Did I forget one or two? I don't know. If you know of other ways that impressions count or don't count for your YouTube channel, leave me a comment below and let me know what I missed. I think I might have missed some, but I'm not sure. So leave me a comment and let me know if you know of something that I didn't mention in this video. If you want to know more about understanding your analytics, I really recommend you check out this live stream that we did last week, where we went really deep into diving into what analytics means, and we broke down one of the best performing videos on my channel. So make sure you check that video out and see how we analyze a video coming forward and continue moving in the right direction. Go check that video out right now, and we'll see you over there.